Hi, thank you so much for joining me today and welcome to my channel. My name is Lexi Zhang, and I actually just realized that I don't think I've ever introduced myself on one of these videos. So, I apologize for that, but thank you so much for joining me today. And we're going to do a get ready with me video today. So I have a few things I want to try. I'm also going to swatch a couple blushes that were requested. So my face is a little redder than usual right now. I did just come from the gym and just got out of the shower, so still a little flushed. But I think we're gonna start off with foundation. So I have my skincare down and my sunscreen. I'm using the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen, which kind of acts as a primer as well. And I think for foundation today, I'm going to go in with the Cle de Peau Radiant Cream to Powder Foundation. So that's this one. And I use shade I-10. So I like to apply this with a brush. I feel like the sponge just kind of gives a heavier coating than what I'm liking, and honestly I don't really like cleaning these so I prefer brushes. So I'm going to use this is the synthetic Kyoto Fupa. I think it's 03, and I'm just going to apply a light coating of this, so you can see some on the bristles here. One of the things I really like about this foundation is the texture of it. It's very light, easy to use, and it's great for one of those light days where you want a little something. It's got slightly more coverage than a tinted moisturizer, but still not as much as a foundation. And well, I guess it's like a light coverage foundation technically, but I think it just feels great. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more to my cheeks. Okay, so I think that's good for that. I'm gonna go ahead and add some under eye concealer, and I'm going to use the Cle de Peau. I don't know why, but I usually end up matching my brands. So whatever brand I'm using, if I'm not using the Sicily Stila Lumiere, it's almost always because I'm using like a foundation where I have a matching concealer. So this is a bottom click, and there's like a brush, and you can see the product comes out through there. So I don't like to use a ton. And I still haven't gotten around to purchasing a new concealer brush. So I've been using this Kevyn Aucoin contour brush, which, it's like $13 at Costco right now. So I thought it was worth purchasing. I think I paid more for this one, but I did just see it there this week. Well, online. I haven't seen it in the store. My Costco does not get all of that good stuff. So, okay. So I think for under eyes, to set it, I'm going to use the Chantecaille Hummingbird Perfect Blur Powder. And I'm just wiping any concealer that may be on that brush. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of powder on the brush and put that under my eyes. Okay. And I guess might as well go ahead and I'll actually use this to set the foundation too. So I'm going to go in. This is the Sonia G Phase 1 brush. I'm just going to get a little bit on here, and I'm going to do this lightly because I don't want a ton of powder. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's go ahead and swatch the blushes. So I had a request for a comparison between the Chanel, the new one. This is the 330 Rose Pétillant, and then number 64 Pink Explosion. So I'm going to swatch those on my hand, and I think I'm going to use Rose Pétillant today. But here we go. So you can see, here's Rose Pétillant. And here is Pink Explosion. So you can see that Rose Pétillant is definitely going to be a little bit more, it's warmer. It's more of like a reddish pink instead. So let me hold these up so you guys can see these, but you can see this one here is Pink Explosion. They both have about the same amount of sparkle. Rose Pétillant has this beautiful swirl in here, which is really pretty, but it is definitely more reddish based. It's more of a like a watermelon corally pink instead of, you know, more of a bright. So Pink Explosion here, Rose Pétillant here. Let me go ahead and make those a little bit darker. All right, so there's just a second coat of those. So hopefully you can see the difference pretty well. So the level of sparkle is pretty similar. Pink Explosion has like a brighter glitter in it. So you can kind of, it's definitely showing up a bit more. But they have probably comparable amounts of it. I would say Pink Explosion looks a little bit more sparkly just because it is a little bit brighter. The chunks might be slightly bigger too. It's hard to tell. But Rose Pétillant, Pink Explosion. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to apply, I'm going to use the Chikuhodo. This is the F04 from the Silver Fox, and I'm going to go ahead and use Rose Pétillant. And just going to get a little bit, this is very, very pigmented. Okay, I think I can add just a little bit more. I'm actually not dipping it in the color anymore. I'm dipping it in the little bit of fallout that I had on the side and just kind of adding a little bit to my brush there. Okay, so I think that's it for blush. Let's go ahead and we'll finish highlighter and stuff at the end. I'm going to be right back. I'm just gonna move the camera closer and we're going to do eyes. And I'm going to try to actually make kind of like a more outside V today, which is something I am not good at. I guess it's not really that I'm not good at it per se. It's more that I always feel a little uncomfortable doing it. I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone. So any suggestions or comments about that would be greatly appreciated. So I'll be right back. Let me just change the camera mode. Okay, so today I'm going to use the two new Chanel quads. So this one is 358 Au Fil de l'Eau and 356 Au Fil des Fleurs. And I'm going to start off with this one. I'm going to go into the deepest color. And because this is something I don't do very often, I'm actually going to trace the shape with a pencil first. So this is the Sonia G Pencil 1 brush. I'm going to go into this darkest shade. So I'm just getting some on the pencil brush, and I'm just going to start kind of tracing here and going into this crease. Okay, let me get a little bit more. I think actually I should take that out a little bit more. So let's go there. All right, and I'll be filling that in a minute. Let me go ahead and do the other eye. Okay, so that's just kind of like my guideline there. So now I'm actually going to go back and kind of fill in everything else. Let's go in. We'll start from the outside and move to the inside. So I'm going to switch to this Esom W36. This is the angled brush. And I'm going to go back into that color. And I'm just going to add a little bit here. I feel like I might have to go back in and add more stuff there later. But let's go ahead and move on. We're going to go into, I'm going to use, this is the new Lancome brush that I bought. Oh, what number is it? 12. So it's a really nice flat shader. You can see that. But it's a nice small size. So I'm going to go into the silver shade next to it, this one here. I'm going to add a little bit right here. This one is definitely more blue. So I think now I'm going to go ahead and switch. I'm using the same brush. I'm just going to wipe this off on my cloth. And I'm going to go into the 356 into the dark purple. And I'm going to put that, kind of overlap the silver a little bit and move in. So right now I'm just trying to kind of blend those two together a little bit. So it's not stark. I think I went over too far on this side. Let me add a little more purple over here. All right, so then I am going to wipe this brush off and I'm going to go into the pink next to that and put that on the inside part here. Okay, so let me go ahead. This is the Esom G34 and it is a huge blending brush. I'm just going to go ahead and go over this crease area and kind of brush up a little bit as well. So I'm getting some pigment up here, but it's going to look really kind of muted and mixed. All right, so I'm going to go back in with the Esom W36. Ooh, almost dropped my quad. But I'm going to go back into that dark silver shade and kind of go in here a bit more. Just kind of bring that out a little bit more and okay, so I think that is okay for the outside. I'm going to go back with this crease brush and into the 356. I'm going to go into this light pink and I'm going to get just a tiny bit on the tip and kind of blend this on the brow bone. Okay. And I want to go back in with the Lancome brush. I'm going to wipe any excess off. And I'm going into this white shade here. And this white shade here. So I'm mixing them together because the one's really pinky. I don't want quite that much pink. I'm going to dab the inner corners. And just going to, let me get a little bit more. I'm just going to dab a little bit under the eyebrow. Okay, so all right, so I think that's like a little bit more out than what I usually do, and I will have to progress in baby steps to kind of get used to doing things like that. But I think that's it for the eyes. And I'm gonna go ahead and use let's go ahead and use the Tom Ford Brow Gel today. So this shade is Taupe, and I'm just gonna do my brows real quickly. I actually don't usually re-dip in between. I just turn the brush. This one, I think I'm starting to run out of this finally. So I haven't been using it as much recently because I'm getting a little low. I'm trying to decide what I want to use next. I was thinking of trying the Chantecaille brow product. So if anybody has tried that, if you have any experience with that, please let me know if it's worth trying or if you have any other recommendations. I like the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, but I do like to try new things. And sometimes it's a little stiff and I like something lighter, which is why I switched to the Wander sometimes. But, you know, I kind of like something in between. So plus the Tom Ford, I wouldn't mind going a little bit lighter, but I feel like the next color down's a little bit, like I have to mix, which I'm too lazy to do on my brows. So, okay, I was moving the camera and I realized I totally forgot to line my eyes. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quickly. So I'm going back in with the 358 quad and I want to use the light silver underneath. So I'm going to take this pencil brush that I used in the beginning to kind of outline my path. I'm going to dip that in there and I'm going to go under the eyes. So I always try to get as close to the lash line as possible, but putting things on my waterline, particularly in the lower lashes, they just get too watery, especially now. I think allergy season is starting. I've already started feeling allergy symptoms pretty early for for me, but my allergies are getting worse every year. So I'm not really looking forward to that. All right, so I'm gonna go into the deep silver for the upper lash line. And I'm just gonna go as close to the lashes as possible. Okay. All right, I'm wiping anything off of that brush and I'm gonna go into this peach shade here and just put a little bit underneath my eyes on this inner portion. I'm gonna kind of extend that up to the corner. And I just think this kind of helps make my eyes look a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna move the camera back and do mascara. So, thanks. Okay, so I guess I will do the mascara on camera. So I did curl my lashes. I used the Surratt Releve curler, which I like this one because it doesn't really produce any kinks in my lashes. It looks a little bit more natural. I'm gonna use the By Terry Lash Expert Twist Brush Mascara. And again, this is the one where you can turn this part of the handle and you either have a straight handle for lengthening or you can have one for volume. And I personally like the volume side. I actually really like this mascara. I do not have a favorite mascara. I guess the closest I've come to a favorite is the Volume de Chanel because I rebuy that one every time. But I've never found a perfect mascara. So I also do really like the Burberry cat lashes. I haven't had that in a while and I think I want to try that again because that one was my favorite before having kids. So I used that one all the time. And then it just got harder to find. And I guess I just have to order it online from Nordstrom since they don't seem to have any of that in store anymore. So I'll have to look and see, but for those of you who are Nordstrom shoppers, they do that. Is it buy two, get one free, or buy three, get one free mascara deal like a couple times a year? I feel like that should be coming up in another month or two. So time to get ready for that and plan my purchases. I didn't purchase anything because it takes me so long to go through mascara, and honestly I prefer using travel size ones, so like things I can get in a sample. I just feel like they, you know, for the amount of time that you should use a mascara before safely changing it, I think that's better. All right, so I think for today, for finishing powder, let's go ahead and use the Guerlain Meteorites in Light. And I'm going to use, this is the Beautylish and Chikuhodu collaboration brush. So this is for the Year of the Rat for Lunar New Year, and I just really love how pretty it is. And it's a really nice soft brush as well. So there is plenty on my container right now, so I'm actually just gonna use what's on the container. Okay. And I think that's it for that. And for lips today, let's go ahead and use the cherry blossoms. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the bright pink. This is the number 61. So this is the Guerlain Cherry Blossom case. And I love these cases. Okay, I think I actually want to tone it down a bit. Oh, you know what I want to mix it with? This is the Luxe Trans lipstick from Pat McGrath in Realness. And I just kind of want to see how these layer. I don't know. I really like Realness. I use this one a lot. My bullet's actually getting a little loose. I have to keep it kind of low. But this is a shade I mix with a lot of things. Anytime I use a lipstick after, I already have something on my lips, I always try to clean it off afterwards. But it's an interesting color. But I don't think that's what I want to wear today. So I take that off. And I think I'll just go with one of my favorites. This is the Guerlain Rouge G from the holiday collection in '96. And it is just a pinky nude shade that I wear a lot. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, I like this with the purple. And yeah, okay. So I think that's it for that. Forgot to do highlighter. Let's go ahead and do something. What should we do today? I think I want to use the Duo de Camellias from Chanel. And I'm going to use more of the silver side today. So I'm going to go in with the Sonia G Sculpt 4 brush, and I'm going to focus on the silver here. So this is a fan brush, but it's angled. You can see it's an angled fan brush. So it's not misshapen here. That's really how it is. So, all right, so I'm getting some on here. I'm just going to brush this on here. I really love this highlighter. So I think, all right, that's good. That's what I like. All right. And I think that is everything for today. Let's see there. Hair's kind of a mess, but I'll take care of that later. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much for getting ready with me today. So I tried to do a little bit more outside. I think I do need to do more suggestions, comments, that would be helpful. And I will see you in my next video, I hope. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Thank you so much.